So Blake Lively is back in the headlines this week. Well, just a few headlines, mainly People magazine, which is a big one. And it's very cute and very sweet considering some of the headlines she's had attached to her name, pretty much all the headlines she's had attached to her name the last couple of years. So the People magazine headline reads, Blake Lively nearly forgets to button her pants before heading out the door after hair tutorial video.
Another classic. Thanks, people.
We've all been assigned a story like that sometime in our journalism career. I don't know if we did write-arounds like that anymore of kind of like little nothing videos, but I guess.
I mean.
And no shade to People. I bet people read the People article to be like, did she button her pants? Did she not? Don't leave us on a cliffhanger.
I mean, that's a hot scoop.
So it's actually from a video that she shared, Blake Lively, shared to her Instagram page. And it was about her getting ready to like go out the door with like, and her kids are all running around the background and she's got to do her hair and makeup fast because she's a busy working mum. Yeah. I don't say that lightly. She is a busy working mum. She has many children and work and stuff, but she's very much like showing all the products from her Blake Brown Haircare line. Mm-hmm. So she's like put treatments in and like she puts this like setting spray, hairspray on it. Yeah. She also puts stuff into a bun and she's like moment of truth, the bun out after running around the city. And then at one stage she's like, oop, buttoning your pants is always a nice touch because she almost left the house with her pants unbuttoned.
Haven't we all? Relatable queen.
I don't like to wear pants with a button. That's constricting. So I haven't faced this particular challenge, but I definitely have been trying to do my hair quickly before I leave.
What are you wearing if they don't have buttons?
I don't wear pants.
Well, that's true. I've never seen you.
I'm a lady.
Okay.
And I overheat really easily, as you know. Anyway, so that's all sweet and lovely.
Yeah.
And the story gets picked up and everyone's like, isn't she sweet using her hair care? But then obviously the reason for the video was not just that she was running out the door. The reason for the video is that she wanted to show herself using the items from her Blake Brown hair care line, which is fair enough. The whole point of a celebrity having a line, which they always do like in partnership with someone else, but having them be the face of it is to use their own social media platforms, their own celebrity, their own fan base to show them using the products as part of their everyday life. And that's why it sells. And this has worked so well for so many other celebrities.
Yeah.
But at the time of this video coming out this week, it's also got people talking about the fact that the last time we heard like a lot about Blake Lively's hair care range, which she launched in 2024, and her idea at the time was she said she wanted to create, she said there was nothing out in the market of what she was looking for her hair care, which was clean formulas with incredible performance.
And I just have to say that's not true, Blake. There are
I know.
I would say that to most celebrities.
No, exactly. It's not just a her thing.
It's not just her. Like, it all exists. We have it all. Well, and that's not even just to celebrities. That's to skincare brands and everyone who is constantly marketing us new stuff going, we've never done this before.
Yeah, no. There's a script that celebrities have to follow when they're launching businesses.
Yes,
because they can't say, I want an ongoing stream of income that I don't have to be on a movie set or a TV set or anything like that. Like totally. I want to have a business. So they can't say they want to make money. Even though I really appreciate when people say every so often like Kim Kardashian will say I'm doing this for money. And I was like, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Thank you for being honest. But celebrities have to follow this script of like, I looked everywhere and I couldn't find the product that I wanted. And I knew that if I couldn't find it, then others couldn't.
So true.
And a lot of that now is wrapped up in like the idea of like clean makeup and products, sustainability, all that sort of stuff. So their idea is being like, this thing didn't exist and look at me making it for all of you. Yeah. And I'll take the money for it, but there's no way I did it, is the vibe. So she's not the only one. Every celebrity does that.
Yeah. And obviously I think some are truthful in that. So I'm not saying she's not truthful, but like obviously say like Rihanna, Fenty, that was a huge milestone.
Oh, she did see a gap in the market.
She did see a gap in the market and also called out the entire beauty industry in what she was able to create herself. And that's why it's such a success, because there was a gap and her products were amazing. Same with Rare Beauty. Like, again, obviously Selena wanted to make money, but she also wanted to be like, hey, I have this thing that affects my ability to open stuff. I want to make a beauty line that is easier for people who have impairments with their hands. Yeah. So like there are gaps. I'm not saying there's not gaps.
No. We're 100% on the same page with that. Like, again, it's an acceptable public thing that we all say.
Yeah.
So that's lovely. But what I thought was interesting at this is now, like, she's posted this video. Everyone's talking about her hair care line. The last time we really talked about Blake Lively's hair care line in like a big way as like a big newsy global conversation was at the end of May. But it was this article that came out from Puck News, and it was about the kind of, I guess, quote unquote, impending death of Blake Lively's Haircare range. So they ran this article that got picked up by everyone and is now kind of, I feel like, circling again at the moment. And it said, after the Baldoni Gate fallout, this is in the article, so obviously her lawsuit with Justin Baldoni, they have settled, although the last thing we heard was that she was attempting to get damages, like her legal fees paid from him. So that part's ongoing, but the actual legal dispute between them is settled, and was settled in May because that's what enabled Blake Lively really to go to the Met Gala and kind of do her. Remember how like it came out in the news basically like that day, the settlement had happened, and then she made a surprise appearance in the Met Gala. Oh my God, that's talked about in this article. So it says, after the Baldoni Gate fallout, Blake Lively's briefly hot Target haircare line, Blake Brown, is circling the drain, and its Italian partners want out. Finding a new operator might not be easy. So that also wanted to say that when Blake Lively came to the Met Gala, like she was kind of shunned and people were making fun of her, saying that she bought her own ticket. And then it came out that Anna Wintour had personally invited her and Versace had made they call it a pastel cupcake dress.
I would say that's
accurate. For her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went on the record saying I was a fan of that dress and I stand by it.
I thought she
it was
looked
a
great.
perfect Blake Lively Met Gala dress.
Yeah, she looked great.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Then the article says like, had made the dress for her, but the damage was done. Perhaps more importantly, the Met Gala misadventure apparently did nothing to help Blake Brown, Lively's ill-fated beauty brand, which I'm told has hit an all-time low. Indeed, the brand has cratered in a spectacular way. Just 2 years ago, Blake Brown was the biggest hair care launch in Target's history. So American Target. You know, it was like a whole huge thing there.
Also different to Australian Target. Carry on.
Different vibe.
No, different owners.
Well, yeah, that too. But like you can buy food and stuff in there.
You can.
So Blake Brown was the biggest hair care launch in Target's history, with close to $20 million in sales from the first 3 months. At the time, the realtor projected it would become a $100 million or so business in its first year. But we're now hearing the brand will be lucky if it reaches mid-single-digit millions in 2026. And then they've spoken to someone who says they are familiar with the company's financials and said that Blake Brown is currently basically that their sales are down in Target and is very much declining. And it's down at the very bottom of Target's hair care items. So basically people have stopped buying it.
Right.
So that's sort of coming at now, people saying like, is she kind of spruiking this dying business? And also in a really kind of nasty way. I mean, obviously you can have your own thoughts about Blake Lively, but a lot of people are kind of almost like celebrating the demise of her business. I guess because she launched it at the time when It Ends With Us was doing the press rounds, and a lot of people found it upsetting and unseemly that she was promoting this movie about domestic abuse while also at the same time spruiking a hair care line and trying to wrap them up together was the thought.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a fair criticism that it wasn't just her, but a few people regarding It Ends With Us faced, like with like treatment of the press tour as like a big exciting rom-com moment when in fact it was a more serious topic. So yeah, I guess the launch of the hair care line at that time, I remember people being quite upset about that for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And so she did quite a big push for it, and she was kind of talking about the name, like Brown's like a family name and how she wanted to bring that in. And I've got to say, like on paper, Blake Lively launching a hair care range is correct. Like it seems the thing that she should launch because she's always been known for her hair.
That was one thing I found so interesting at the time because people really ripped into her hair. Do you remember that being like the big, after the discourse of like It Ends With Us and then eventually later all the Justin Baldoni stuff. But in the middle when people were really like, we hate Blake Lively, it was really intensely for a minute about her hair. This is like before any lawsuits, I'm saying.
I remember.
For anyone who doesn't know, I'm not talking about the lawsuits. I'm talking about post initial premiere, rumors of tension. She's got the worst hair in the world, everyone says. Yeah. And that was the one thing to me that was really weird because I was like, one thing Blake Lively does have is nice hair.
Yeah, like objectively good hair. And it's also, it's been her thing. Like it was part of the whole crafting of the Serena van der Woodsen character.
Yeah, she's always flipping it
Gossip
around.
Girl. Yeah, it was like they even make mention of it. Like she's got like the Serena character, like her whole thing is like she'll leave a room but she's got good hair kind of thing. Like that's her vibe. And also Blake Lively's always a hair girl. Like she's never going to rock a pixie. She rarely does an updo. No. She's known for those big, thick, tumbling blonde waves. She's known for that hair moment on all her red carpets. So launching a hair care range, for me, felt like the correct thing for her. It's not like when a celebrity launches something and like, you never even said you've used that before. Like Brad Pitt launching a skincare line. Remember that? I think that's still doing okay, but everyone was like, we've never looked to Brad Pitt and been like, oh, wonder what he uses on his skin. I would like to wear Brad Pitt's skincare.
Yeah.
I think people do. I think people buy it, but
Seriously?
like he's not a forward-facing skincare person.
Yeah, very much not. Yeah.
Whereas Blake's always doing a hair tutorial
always got her hair
and
done.
stuff. So it felt correct that she would launch it, but then obviously launching it at that time made people upset when it was projected to be this huge business.
I'm surprised that it was seen as a success when it first launched, because all I remember was people talking shit about it, but that could have been part of just the internet.
Well, I wonder also if it was getting stocked in so many places, they were doing big launches and all that sort of stuff. And she was really out on the publicity trail for it, doing events, doing interviews, doing video. Like there's so much press coverage of her launching this brand. But then the haircare brand, Blake Brown, even gets mentioned in the court papers between her lawsuit with Justin Baldoni and Wayfarer Studios, which is the production company behind the movie. Because apparently there were some people from, well, not apparently, it's written into the legal papers. So in the legal papers, it said that executives from the studio behind It Ends With Us were criticizing the timing of Blake Lively launching her haircare brand. And they called it, and this is quotes from them, epic level stupid, and saying, they're like, for her doing this is epic level stupid. That's a direct quote from the legal papers saying she wouldn't listen and she knows better. And then a source came in and defended Blake Lively at the time and said that the deal with Target was set months in advance and it couldn't be changed. And the film date just happened to overlap with it. So their thinking was that this was already set up and then the film premiere was scheduled around the same time, so Blake didn't plan it.
Right.
And then the Sony Pictures Entertainment people had this whole conversation, which was then subpoenaed for the legal case, where they talked about the fact that Blake Lively was done and she would never work again after this. And they were kind of talking about how her hair care line would tank. You know what's mean? They even bring Anne Hathaway into it, because one of them says, and she'll probably never ever work again, or not for a while. Although even Anne Hathaway recovered. So we think she's just probably bizarrely unhireable right now. And just to know, that's how men talk about women when they're not in the room.
Yeah.
So that became part of the legal case. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any in-depth knowledge about the financial standing of Blake Lively's. It's a private company. There's nothing on the record that you can see.
Yeah, it was a Target exclusive, right, as well, which also does limit while Target is everywhere in the United States, like, it does also limit.
I know, but everyone goes to Target, so you want to get your stuff in Target. Yeah. That's why like Taylor Swift sells a lot of...
Well, she does exclusives. She doesn't only sell them in Target, but she'll do a version of Target.
And that's because it's got that mass market to come in and get it. Yeah. I don't know. I do think I think the timing of everything that happened, like I think we'll never know if Blake Lively's hair care line could have just been its own success from the jump because of what happened, because it was linked to the movie and there was backlash around that. But then also she kind of had to go offline for a few years and not post because she was in this huge public legal situation. And so that's the time in the first few years of a business where it's the hardest to launch. And so I'm sure if she had her way at the time, she would have been doing a hair care video every day with her celeb friends and would have been showing it all. But now a few years later, it almost seems like she's doing the promo she would have done
back then
when it launched.
Yeah. And I do remember like the Haircare's Instagram getting flooded with harassment and negative comments about how the business should close and all of this stuff during the Baldoni and Lively trial. And even before it had officially gone to like lawsuits and all of that account was absolutely getting hammered online. Yeah. So it was also a case of like, she's the marketable thing about that product. So if you don't have her, then how do you market the product?
That's the thing. That's what they've always said about, I remember like in the early 2000s when like celebrity perfumes and stuff was such a big thing. Like you couldn't sell a perfume unless it was like a Paris Hilton fragrance or
J-Lo
a Britney. J-Lo or like a Britney Spears. But then that was also during the time when a lot of those young starlets went through like, you know, public scandals, DUIs, going to jail, being cancelled. And then there was this huge thing of like, well, what do we do with the perfumes? When it's hooked off this one name, you can't sell a Paris Hilton perfume unless people are favourable of Paris Hilton. As an example, I don't know. I don't think the Blake Lively thing is so much about the backlash. I mean, maybe I would just say maybe we're oversaturated in celeb beauty brands now, and it has to be something so unique.
Yeah, and I also think
cut through.
It's very common for celebs to launch one of these things and then 2 to 3 years later it's gone. Like how many things has Kim Kardashian launched and later pulled from shelves? KKW Beauty, for example. She had her own credit card at one point.
Like, the Kardashian credit card.
Even Kylie Cosmetics. At one point it was Lip Kits, then it like extended oversaturated. And honestly, there's a lot of reviews people might want to look at before they buy any of the skincare products. So many celebrity businesses in the like makeup and hair care realm disappear after a couple of years. It's pretty obvious why that happens.
Yeah.
But like,
most, isn't it the whole thing is like most new businesses fail within the first few years?
It's a saturated market, and the ones that cut through, obviously, again, Fenty Beauty, Rare Beauty, the ones that like have something to say and did have a point of difference to them and that actually take off for being like genuinely really good products. If you didn't even have a chance to get off the ground because everyone was like, we don't want this. Like, why would it become like it's word of mouth? Like you said about Sterling Point.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some point it's the marketing, but then it is word of mouth. It's you telling your friends, actually, I tried the Rare Beauty blush and it's crazy and it's so good for this reason. Like, that's how they stay afloat. And that just was never going to happen for a celebrity hair care line of this nature, I don't think.
Yeah.
Whereas like Tracee Ellis Ross launched her hair care line and like I think that's still doing really well. Like that makes sense that that's still doing well. Again, she identified a gap in the market.
Yeah, exactly. So again, we don't know exactly what's happening with Blake Lively's hair care brand, but I think it'll be interesting to see now that she seems to be doing another big public push. It'll have to be announced if the business closes. But again, I don't sort of enjoy like the demonizing her, like she did this wrong. There's so many different factors that could be involved here.
I think she had great hair and a good idea and it just didn't work out on her side. I mean, even Hailey Bieber's being roasted this week because she's been doing staged pap walks with headphones that are to do with Justin Bieber.
Side note, I loved that.
Well, the internet did not.
I know.
They were mad about being sold something. And it's like, well, that's all that people do is they sell you stuff. But she's had so much success with the way she was able to launch Rhode, like by pretending it was all just something she loved and eventually launching a bunch of products off the back of, here's my routine and I love to look like a glazed donut. Surprise, now I sell glazing milk. Yeah. They've done the same thing with these Justin Bieber headphones, but everyone's like, we don't like this. Why are you selling to us? So that's what celebrities do. They sell your stuff and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.